Good morning everyone, it's Nicole from the Physio Crew. So I thought I'd give you a bit of a summary about our training yesterday. I went up to Bristol to induct Ellen, who is our new physio. So she's been a physio 3 years, also specialising like myself in equine physio, so she's doing a master's in that at the moment and doing her physio stuff alongside it. So it was quite interesting to listen to her yesterday because, like me, she's found that the master's has been really useful for her human practice, and that's because when you do veterinary stuff at a high level, they have a very different way of teaching than in human practice. So when you go into surgery, you're sometimes, when I was at the Royal Vet College, we would have 18 people in surgery all talking. You know, when you go into human surgeries, it's a lot more kind of structured and polite, and you do talk, you ask the consultant questions, but not quite in the same way as you do with animal. The learning environment is so much better because you ask questions. You're obviously not putting the consultant off, but because there's other senior clinicians in the surgery and it's not frowned upon to ask questions, you do learn a lot more. So it was really good to get the opportunity to see that. You also dissect things a lot more freely. Obviously, when you're doing human dissection, normally it will be the professor or whoever is showing you doing it, and actually when you're doing it at the vet college, you will have a limb. Sorry if it sounds a bit gross, but it's really good for learning. You'll have a limb of an animal, and then what you'll do is you'll dissect. So you'll look at the skin, you'll look at the fascia, you'll peel each layer off so you can see the structure. This is why, guys, I don't get worried about the strength of your tendons, because I've visibly seen how strong they are, and also when people are worried about their back, I've physically held, you know, these structures and moved them. They are very strong, and that's how I understand that a lot of it is to do with the perception of the brain, how we're feeling signals going up. And of course, some structures do get injured, and we need to think about how they recover. It's how I know, like the IT band, for example, can't be stretched. When you look at how thick these things are, it's quite incredible to actually see beneath the skin surface. So that was really interesting, and that definitely helped me with my human practice. The other thing when you're learning about animals is you're learning about what makes them different to us. How do for example, like the spleen in a horse pumps huge amount of blood, so that can again give that extra burst. If they need to gallop away from something, it can give them that extra little burst. When you look at cheetahs, they have more flexible spines. So all of these biomechanical things, you think, oh wow, animals not really very relevant, but it definitely helps you to understand the musculoskeletal system and how we differ and how we can help to enhance and to improve. So on the training yesterday, the first patient that we saw, she's had an ACL she must be about 18 months ago now. She had a few complications with it. We sent her back to the consultant because there was irritation of the metalwork, and this is why it's so important to have a physio as your champion. So for this particular lady, she went back to see the registrar. I sent a nice neat letter just saying, look, she's not recovering, she's working really hard. That's a really good sign that something's not quite right with the surgery. If they're working really hard, you can see she's putting in the effort, but it's not changing. It's a very sharp pain where the screw is for when they have the ACL repair. So and you could feel the screw actually. So when she went back, he said, oh, you didn't have very good muscle strength. So go away for 6 months. Anyway, 6 months later, still exactly the same. They went in, removed the metalwork. But I said to her, I said, when you go in, this lady can do a single leg squat. I mean, most people can't do a single leg squat anyway. So I said, next time he says that you don't have adequate strength, explain to him that the strength is inhibited by pain inhibition. So that's when she's getting the pain from the metalwork, the muscle's unable to contract. I said, show him your single leg squat if he tells you that you're weak, and ask if he can do the same. That's very cheeky of me, I shouldn't say that. But yeah, anyway, so we were able to be her champion and say, no, go back, let's get this surgery. And now she's had that surgery and she's doing the recovery, so she's doing very well. So interesting to see her also getting a back issue, so we did some really deep tissue release. Again, looking at the QL. QL can be, which is your quadratus lumborum, like a sausage muscle either side of the spine. Very common cause of back pain, and often severe back pain, unfortunately, but quite easy to sort out. Next person we saw was the biomechanical chap. So we did lots and lots of adjustments not like chiropractor adjustments, adjustments as in tests to see how he was able to control his body, and he was just excessively tight everywhere, and that again was probably a bit of deconditioning. He's a fit guy, but he's probably not fit enough to be doing the type of exercise that he wants to do, so we need to look at his conditioning. Then we saw a very, very sweet chap who I am hoping we're going to bring on as one of the Physio Crewe family, and he's got some myofascial pain. So what we were doing is, which is to do with the muscle and the fascia. Myo is muscle, fascia is fascia, and so we did some dry needling for him and some movement exercises. So yeah, really good day in training, and then I got stuck in 3.5 hours of traffic on the way home, which wasn't very good. So yeah, if you guys are interested in coming in on one of our training days when I'm in Bristol, I'm actually doing another one on Monday. I think I still have some